Glad to have you aboard this week on Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz of Pure Michigan, and we're going to find out what's happening up in the Traverse City area next. Of course, there's always something cool happening up in the Traverse area. I like to call Traverse City like the perfect place, especially at summertime when there's something to do all the time. Let's bring in Sam Porter from Porterhouse Productions up in the Traverse City area to tell us about a big event on stand-up paddleboards. How you doing, Sam?
Hey, Dave. How are you? I'm so good.
Doing well on this end, too. So you actually, I know you're involved in tons of things. Before we get into the stand-up paddleboard challenge, why don't you tell us a little bit about Porterhouse Productions and what you do up there?
You bet. We've been up here for 7 years, and 15 years ago, we started in Bozeman, Montana, moved back home. My wife and I grew up in Traverse City, Michigan. So we came home with our production company and immediately started developing festivals that we launched out west. And the first one we did was the Microbrew and Music Festival, which is coming into its 7th year.
Wow.
And that's a great big event that happens at the end of summer. So, up here we've been really entrepreneuring and working really hard to build tools. We just launched a company, tentvenue.com, which is a 4,000 capacity mobile tent system. And so we were in New York this past weekend. We were in Austin. We're bidding on Utah Symphony Productions, and that's a beautiful, beautiful event. It's really rare. It's the only one in the country.
So you're actually moving your equipment all around, renting that out.
Yeah, this tent structure is so gorgeous. It's kind of like reinventing the circus. And so, but we're targeting, arts and demographics like symphonies and our touring events like microbrewmusicfestival.com. And we're also, renting the systems and helping other events, have shelter. And it really opens up the economic window for shoulder season. So a lot of, Michigan communities are really busy in July and August. So we are the solution for spring and fall.
That's great to know, especially, other people in other communities around the state listening right now. If they're thinking about, they have maybe a hole in the schedule, want to fill it with some big activity, you'd be a good guy to call. And if nothing else, at least get some good ideas and maybe even hire you to bring an event to their community. So now you have an event coming up on August 16th that kind of came up on our schedule as kind of a fun one to learn more about. The 5th annual already Traverse City Waterman Stand-Up Paddle Challenge. Now, I don't know if this is a race or a competition or what, but that's why we called you.
Yeah, it's a great event. It's on the open space, right on the lakefront. And it's a really special event for Traverse City because it's one of the last weekends that Traverse City is really allowed to host a high-impact, so to say, event. So we work really closely with the city on developing this. And so we wanted to dedicate it to water, family and adult programming, healthy activities, great food, music. And so it's a full weekend. Really, the headliner is this stand-up paddleboard race. That's it is the largest in the Midwest. We have about 300 SUP, they call them, stand-up paddleboarders, that race out, and there's all these different, there's an 11-mile downwinder that goes from Power Island, whatever way the wind is blowing, basically. It goes from either way out in the bay to the shore, and then there's a 3.5-mile loop, and then there's kids races and sprints and demos and free activities, and then a giant water expo with all these really cool companies, whether it's M22 or, all these stand-up companies that are around our region. So it's a blast. It's a fun, and that's just the beginning. That's just the kind of the daytime activity Saturday. Friday night, we start off with Paella in the Park, which is in its 5th year, which is a wonderful event. We've had Blues Traveler and a lot of great musicians, and that's a celebration of local food and music and through the dish called paella. So a lot of fun that weekend.
Well, so it sounds like you're mostly in West Bay then. If you're talking about Power Island, that's in West Grand Traverse Bay, right?
Right there from the shore. Yeah.
So where do the stand-up paddle competitions start? Is that also on the open space, what they call the open space in Traverse City?
Yeah, it's right on the open space, right where the volleyball courts and the big, beautiful beaches are. I mean, award-winning beaches. I mean, it's just so gorgeous. Last year was so amazing. You can kind of YouTube TC Waterman and see this video with a helicopter camera flying over the whole venue. It's really cool. So
what do you do about the other boats? I mean, Traverse, especially West Bay, is very popular for sailboating and, boating and, jet skiing and all that stuff. Do they just kind of stay away during this competition?
It's a great question. We have DNR and Coast Guard and all kinds of support boats. We work, that day is one of the largest regattas on the bay. And so, we're very close with the sailors. And, it's just a lot of communication. I mean, it's a really active bay. We've had nothing but a great success of pulling this off. And it's been so beautiful. So, we just hope for another year and it'll grow. I mean, you should see it. When we put registrations out, everyone just loves this event. And really, they just love Traverse City. I mean, you can go on wine tours. You can walk the beaches. You can go out to these amazing restaurants. It's just one of the most amazing places. Really, I know, and I've traveled all over the world. I always come home saying, I love where I live. This is Traverse City. This is amazing.
I understand. We're talking to Sam Porter from Porterhouse Productions in Traverse City. And Sam, it occurs to me as we talk about this 5th annual Traverse City Waterman Stand-Up Paddle Challenge coming up on August 16th, that there are probably a lot of people out there who really don't know what stand-up paddleboarding is. Why don't you describe that?
Well, stand-up paddleboarding is it's a beautiful sport. It's really unique. It really took off about 6 years ago, and it kind of merges all these, back in the old days, remember when kneeboarding came out, and all these sports consistently are reinvented. So it's a mix of, it's like surfing, but you have total balance. So you can be in the waves, you can be on the calm shore. People do yoga. These boards are so well balanced that people actually do yoga out on the bay, and they'll be doing that at this weekend. So it's just a really graceful way to get great exercise, work on balance, and there's all different types of. I mean, everyone can do it. It's just my whole family, we all have SUP boards. We go to the lake and the kids are on it. 5 kids on a board, or we have someone who just wants to go for a sunset cruise. It's just such a unique feeling. So we highly encourage everyone to kind of come and check it out. The free demos and all the board companies are there selling boards and really connecting with people who love the water.
Now, I know that as part of your competition, I believe Shorts Brewery is one of your sponsors, and they're gonna have kind of an interesting activity or I guess event happening during the big challenge.
Yeah, Friday night, pie in the park, we have these 3-foot wide pans, and there's 21 pans, local chefs, and we do seafood paella, and it's a rice dish from Spain, and we bring in about 15 to 20 farmers. We're bringing in 350 dozen ears of Hall's sweet corn, which is irrigated and drip irrigated corn. It's the best corn in the region, and all these kids, we call them little shuckers. They shuck all the corn. It's this big kind of operation, and at the front of all of this is Shorts Brewery and the wineries of Old Mission Peninsula, and so there's pairings, there's tastings, there's amazing food. But so Friday night's pie in the park, and Saturday is the Waterman, and it's kind of a luau feel. We're doing a real traditional whole hog barbecue with sweet corn, and Shorts Brewery's bringing in their woody boat bar, and they have this old ski shack. And, they're just a riot. Shorts is so much fun. When they bring their team and their energy, obviously they're great beer. It's a really cool hangout, and it's right on the open space. So you're on one of the best locations, in Michigan to celebrate. And so we also have Leif Alsati from Detroit and the Motor City Horns. They're going to headline Saturday night after Waterman. Motor City Horns play with Bob Seger, obviously. And so the whole thing is just a big throwdown of fun. There's family, there's adult programming. It's just a great weekend to come to Traverse City.
It looks like it's going to be a great deal of fun. And I actually saw Shorts as doing like a tap takeover on their own boat. I don't know how that's possible to take over your own boat with your own beer, but apparently they're going to do that.
Right.
So it's happening.
They're right. I mean, we're pairing, some of their porters and stouts. I have a KirbyFoodTruck.com. We have a 1946 Ford flathead V8. It's the only one I ever like. It was pulled off World War II. And we make handmade ice cream, and so we're going to make Shorts floats with our handmade vanilla ice cream. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. Just one of the many, many things happening that big weekend, both Friday the 15th and Saturday the 16th. Of course, the 16th is when that 5th annual Traverse City Waterman SUP Challenge is happening. And I want to thank Sam Porter for filling us in on all those things from Porterhouse Productions. And for more information, just go to porterhouseproductions.com. Of course, there are things happening all throughout the state year-round. We are like the event state. We really are. There are more events in this state than any other state per capita. If there aren't, let's just say there are, because, man, there's something happening all the time. So here's a couple things you can consider, not this weekend, but next weekend, Friday and Saturday on August 8th and 9th. They have the Pudding Stone Festival, of all things, up in Sheboygan. That's a kind of a popular stone to find on the beach there in the Sheboygan area. Very colorful stone. They do scavenger hunts all the time. So they're going to celebrate that. They're going to have some children's activities. They're going to have scavenger hunts and lots of other things, too, up in Sheboygan on the 8th and 9th. Also on the 8th, going through the 10th, the whole weekend, it's the New Buffalo Ship and Shore Festival down in Harbor Country. 3 days of nonstop entertainment and fun, great food, family activities, all that happening in that New Buffalo area on the 8th through the 10th. And then the last one we have time to tell you about is over in St. John's. It's the big St. John's Mint Festival. That's also this coming next weekend, Friday through Sunday. Over 100 years of celebrating mint farming in Clinton County. So you can do that in St. John's the 8th through the 10th. There's always something. And for more information, all you have to do is go to michigan.org. Hey, you may not know this. It's National Picnic Month. It is, right now. And we're going to find out why you should consider going picnicking right here in Michigan. Next, right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at michigan.org.